I feel like maybe it's because he and his agent have framed his free agency as being baseball's version of LeBron's decision, but I think we're forgetting who we're talking about here. We're talking about a pretty good starting pitcher with a year and a half of greatness. We're talking about the guy who chucked a baseball into center field out of anger with Cleveland. We're talking about a guy who has harassed women on Twitter and happily unleashed his trolls on them. And this is the guy you might set a record contract for.
I do think Bauer has more to offer than maybe that the numbers show. If you talk to baseball people about the way he's ascending, remember, he's kind of this baseball scientist who's really changed the way he pitches with spin rates and everything else. He's learned to throw a cutter. It's really helped him against left-handed hitters. So it's sort of like what the Phillies bet on with Zach Wheeler, that he was going to, the best days might be ahead of him. That's what you might be betting on here with Bauer. And look, if the Mets are going to sign him on a one-year deal, it's probably going to take close to, if not close to what Cole is making, that $36 million a year. Otherwise, I can't imagine why he wouldn't take a longer term deal. If it's more than that, maybe you're looking at the $30 million range. But I think the short term would be smartest because you minimize the gamble. But it would take you, I think it might take you close to $40 million.
I don't know if in the wake, and this kind of alludes to what, goes back to what you were saying, Doug, in the wake of the Jared Porter scandal, do the Mets really want to take on a guy who has his past on social media? I don't know the answer to that. If they're making offers and they're still on the table, then yeah, they seem to have the stomach for it. Maybe they think that there will be an initial sort of, hey, what's going on here? Well, didn't you see Sandy's press conference? He talked about there needing to be more diverse voices in baseball management, and now they sign this guy. Maybe they think that the scandal would blow over quickly and then everybody would forget, because Bauer is talented, and if he's pitching well, that's all anybody will talk about.
Reck, take me into the clubhouse in this dynamic, because if, let's say, the Mets sign Bauer and they're paying him upwards of $30 million a year, big contract, how does that make Jacob deGrom feel? And he's got an opt-out in 2022.
Jacob, he's a very competitive guy. You could definitely see him using it as a little bit of a chip on his shoulder. Maybe it helps him go out and get a little bit more motivation, because when you've done the things that he's done, you need to find things for motivation, because he has purely dominated the sport for the last several years, pretty much since he came up, really. So I don't know that he would take offense to it. I would say that he could use it if he wanted to, but I would also say that, look, Jacob's Jacob. He can figure out what he wants to do with it. And with the opt-out coming up, maybe maybe that pushes him closer to taking it, because he has a chance to hit maybe one more big contract, because we've seen what this guy can do, and over a long period of time, and the health has always pretty much been there for him.